It's the Super Centex After Dark. We got DJ, we got Michael. Chad's hopping on in just a couple of minutes on his way back from lovely Bremont, Texas. But let's start with DJ. You were at the Academy Whitney game, and Whitney took it on the chin. I think Chad wrote the preview capsule for that game this week, and he said that even though Academy came in with one win, that they were not a bad team, and I guess they showed it tonight.
No, they were a solid team. They had a really strong running game. Um, but the issue wasn't so much that they were better than Whitney. It was just that Whitney had too many mistakes
Mm.
tonight. Uh, you know, especially in the first half, just like flags for silly things, holding, and part of that was also I don't know what was up with the officiating in the first half where like they got a 15-yard penalty for what looked like was holding. It might have been something else, but from where we were sitting on the visitor side, it was kind of tough to figure that out. And then they were having trouble placing the ball. Um, and it's just like, yeah, it was a frustrating night all around for the Wildcats, right? Like they gave up 42 points in the first half while only
Yikes.
scoring 12.
Yikes.
Yeah. Fisher Watson, who had been kind of lighting it up at quarterback the past couple weeks, did not have his best night. He had a couple interceptions. A lot of them. I think he went. Hold on, I have my stat. I took me forever to do stats, but I actually managed to decently do some tonight.
Do you think it was
Um,
more him making mistakes or Academy's defense making plays?
I think it was a combination of things, but like for what we've seen of Whitney before, like they should have played better in
Mm.
the first half, right? They came out a lot better in the second. Well, it didn't look like in the first drive of the second half because like 3 plays in, Fisher gave up his second interception of the night. He went 16 for 28 passing with two
Mm.
interceptions. But he threw for 152-ish yards and a touchdown. And they were kind of switching between him and Kobe Haynes, doing some Wildcat stuff and also throwing the ball. And yeah, and Kobe actually finished with 71 passing yards in a touchdown pass, but went 4 for 4
Mm.
passing and had 8 receptions for 122 yards ish and a touchdown catch. Um,
How was Jonte Johnson, the
oh,
running back?
Jonte was probably the spark for the Wildcats tonight. He had 184 yards and 25 carries, uh, 13 receptions, 13 reception yards for 4 receptions, a kick return touchdown, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Um, and really, honestly, special teams was my biggest concern with Whitney tonight. They missed every single extra point,
Oh, wow.
and their kicking wasn't great. Not just on like the extra points, but like kicks and on the returns as well. They for whatever reason seem to not be able to like run the ball. I think Jonte was the only one really running the ball. Um, so yeah, it was
Well,
just a
yeah,
rough night.
if you make your extra points, it's 49-35. It looks a little more respectable. I
Yeah,
mean,
and honestly, and they were down 40 because they held Academy scoreless up until like the last 3 minutes of the game in the second half. Like
Right.
obviously they gave up the 42 points in the first half, but they held them scoreless through the third quarter, through most of the fourth quarter. They looked like they could have made the comeback. If they had made all their extra points, they would have only been done a touchdown and an extra point with 3 minutes left to go. They couldn't really seem to find, the pass. They end up turning over on downs. And then Academy goes and ices it with like I want to say it was a 25-yard run.
mm.
Yeah, like 25-yard run. Their number 32 is a really good running back.
Hmm.
I don't have like physical rosters on me. They're on my photo app.
Well,
But
I'll just say one thing about Whitney, just kind of big picture here. Like last week was a step forward for them defensively, holding Rodgers to 17, but it is pretty clear through this non-district schedule that, I mean, Whitney can put up points with anyone, but they do have some defensive issues. I mean, if you're going to give up 42 points and a half, I know Academy's good, and I'm not trying to, dunk on Whitney here, but it's good. I mean, that's probably going to be the storyline for them in that district is can they get stops to win? Because I think their offense
and
can put up plenty of points.
they did get some really crucial fourth down stops in the first half, and they forced. I mean, obviously they held them scoreless through most of the second half. But it was just like a night where things were not going there. Like they really just weren't at their top, and I can't explain it. It was it was just an off night, and hopefully they kind of take this and really internalize it because they're playing Grandview next week, and obviously Grandview's been Grandview for
Mm-hmm.
they've been the top of that district for years, and I mean they were close to beating them last year, but I just obviously having a new quarterback this year, having those kind of issues on special teams and trying to figure those things out. Um, and Coach Haynes said, that they do their best kind of when they're in a rhythm and they don't have to change a lot of things. So I don't know. I feel like they're going to be fine, but they need to be more adaptable. They need to kind of learn when to be able to change up what they do and figure out their assets outside of just the things that they know they do well.
Are we talking about the Whitney Wildcats?
Yes, we are.
They're gonna have to figure out how to stop some people too.
I
Yeah,
just talked about it.
we just talked about
yeah.
that. They're going to as DJ said, going to Grandview next week, or playing Grandview next week. I was just thinking about this.
Yeah, that's a home game, so they're hosting Grandview.
Gotcha. Hosting Grandview. Just thinking about this. You think the reason Grandview wins so much is because they're the zebras and they have the zebras on their side?
Ooh. Ooh. I don't like that one.
And listen to this one. I came up with this one yesterday. This is a very dated joke, but I'm still going to say it because I liked it. Do you think that because Al Gore invented the internet, that's why it uses an algorithm?
I never had thought of it, but he might actually be AI. Like
Well
I'm kind of reverse engineering that joke, but he's not real. He's an algorithm.
Yes. All right. Since Michael's been patiently waiting here in Chilton, Texas,
while y'all are doing that, I want to unbox my new shoes that came in the mail at 5:40 right after I left for my game tonight.
Yeah, we got it.
I want to see those.
We got to see your shoe game.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna have to go get some scissors anyway.
Yeah, okay. Chilton wins 14-0 over Goldthwaite. Pirates still undefeated. I guess it was a good defensive effort, right?
Yes, and a really good third quarter offensively for Chilton. It was about as much of a textbook slugfest in the first half as you could imagine. Neither team could score. It was like
let's see the shoes. Yeah, let's see the shoes.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Chad. Let's see it.
Okay, maybe you could be a zebra.
All
right, are they Pumas?
Right. Pumas, yeah.
Okay.
That's I have a Puma deal. I have a long-standing Puma deal.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Glad you're getting that NIL money. Go on, Michael.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, just it was about as textbook of a slugfest of the first half as you could imagine. 0-0 going into the break. Neither team could score. It was like you'd have one team have a big play for 20, 25 yards, and then you'd have a 10-yard penalty coming right back. It was just full of penalties, full of sloppiness. Not a whole lot of turnovers, maybe a few turnovers on downs, but it wasn't like people were throwing picks or anything. Oh, are they turning out the lights? Let me go to my car.
Oh boy, you're good.
Well, I'll just keep talking in the dark here.
You're
Actually,
fine.
there's some light over here, but
Wait, where are you?
I'm still in Chilton. I filed from Chilton, so well, and there were like kids running around playing after the games. I thought, oh, they might still be out here for a little while, but they have since turned the lights out. But no, I mean, hats off
Are
to
you
Chilton.
locked in? Are you inside the stadium fence?
No, I'm not. I'm not inside the stadium fence. I'm outside. I'm good. But so we obviously have talked a lot about Chilton in their hot start to the year, but Marnico Thomas Jr., their new quarterback that they have, he rips off two unbelievable rushing touchdowns in the third quarter. One was from 58 yards out down the right sideline. The other one was from 51 yards out down the left sideline. The second one, it was a bad snap. He kind of caught it like at their own 40, picks it up, moves to his left. There's someone in pursuit of him. He just I mean, Rod got a good photo of it. You got to go see it on the website. You can see the guy in the background just on the ground. He juked that guy out of his socks like big time, and then just raced down the left sideline and scored with ease. He's a real athlete. As I've mentioned on the podcast before and written about, he's a transfer from Colleen Ellison, really good basketball player, but he had not played organized football since 8th grade. So this is only his fourth game of varsity, high school football. And I know it's at the 2A level, and no shade toward that, but he is really becoming a weapon for them at quarterback. And he was off to the races and gave them enough offense to, get the win over Goldthwaite. That's an Eagles team that was almost state ranked to enter the year, and they haven't been playing bad football. They've been good. And man, 3 straight shutouts for Chilton. They're outscoring opponents by over 100 points through 4 games. I mean, what more do you want me to say? I will say the biggest thing will be there next week. They play Mart, and Chad, you saw Mart play tonight, and Mart clearly looked pretty good against.
That's
Fremont.
A good segue. Go ahead, Chad.
Yeah, no, I was talking to Coach Kozlowski after the game, and I mentioned Chilton. I was like, I don't know. I mean, that's down the road for you guys, but we're already looking at that as kind of a banger, or like a real banger, right? I mean, because I don't Mart is doing some good things. And I think they have a chance to be a really good football team, because Ethan Hawking is a nice security blanket for Elijah Johnson, who I'm not sure what year in school Elijah is, but I'm thinking he's probably kind of young. He's pretty small. Can anybody look that up?
I can look it up. Yeah.
Keep
talking.
But Coach, Kozlowski, he was kind of like, that Chilton game, that's going to be something else. And when you talk about
Elijah's well, hang on. Let me keep looking.
Say the Chilton quarterback's name again, Michael. Oh, is Michael frozen?
Sorry, no, I'm here. His name is Marnico Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
He goes by Nico.
Yeah, well, he if what I'm imagining and what I've heard about Chilton, him being a really true dual threat guy, that's going to test the Bremont defense, right?
He's fast, man.
Yeah.
By the way, it looks like he's actually. It says on Max Preps he's a senior. Elijah Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Okay.
That's what it says.
Okay. Well, anyway, you're going to have star on star in a lot of cases in that game, that Chilton Bremont game, in several weeks. And I tell you, we might get to know the Bremont Tigers a little bit better than we have in the past. By the way, I guess we've fully segued into my game now, right?
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so this was Bremont's first win over Mart in 10 years. Now, they haven't played every year. They were different divisions some of the time, I think. But Bremont hadn't beat Mart since 2016, which is also their last state championship year. So significant win. Coach Kozlowski mentioned getting over the hump with that one, and you could kind of feel that, even though I think Bremont was we all picked Bremont, and I thought that I thought when it was 28-6 or 28-12, that was about kind of how I thought it would be, maybe at halftime of that game. But it
Same
was
here.
Yeah, it was a real good defensive game for about 2.5 quarters. By the way, I don't know if Michaels, you said that you were following my tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all were talking about the fact that there was no scoreboard, so everything was just kind of an
Yeah.
estimate.
Well, none of them knew what was going on. And I kept saying, I mean, I don't know if y'all use X, but we have a guy out there tweeting. And so I was just relaying scores because all the
Oh,
Chilton
okay.
folks were naturally interested to see. So they made a good point. They said, if Mart pulls this one out, they thought maybe there was a scenario down the road where there'd be like a 3-way tie or something and things could get really interesting.
Well, it's awfully early to be putting
Well,
those
right,
pieces together,
right. But you could at
but
least like see where they were coming from with that.
well, yeah, for sure. And when you're looking around in that district, you want every angle you can get, right? But before the game, this is like 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes before the game, the TV reporters and I are looking over at the scoreboard where it just has like blinking footballs, like the football that shows the possession or whatever. Just those were both blinking on both sides. There was no countdown to the start of the game, and they were doing homecoming procession by the like homecoming court before the game. So we were thinking, well, maybe that's why. But no, sure enough, they do the coin toss, they do the national anthem, and then everybody looks around like, well, what the heck are we going to do now? Because the scoreboard wasn't on, and it never came on. It was dark the whole night, and so it was a little bit of a little bit of hamstrung
A little
there.
bit of kerfuffle there, yeah.
Yeah, and I kept, me and some of the other media photographers and media people, we kept kind of harassing the referees. How much time left? How much time left? And they were kind of getting used to that, communicating all of that. Plus, goodness, I mean, it's cricket night out there. I don't know if y'all noticed. In fact, I'm surprised that you guys can do this outside with lights on, without like little bugs just flying in and hitting you right in the face like one did me earlier tonight.
Yeah, the bugs are out in force. All right, well, let's keep it rolling so that
By the way, one more thing. Tank Scott, more than 100 yards in touchdown runs, maybe more than 150 yards in touchdown runs, because he had a 72-yarder, 40-yarder. That's 112 right there, 23-yarder. So now he's up to 135 and a 14-yarder. So 149 yards and touchdown runs in the second half.
Wow.
Impressive.
I have one note. There's nothing I can't stand more than an inefficient scoreboard operator, because like whoever's doing the scoreboard at Academy was frustrating me tonight. It's not even just like I get like that sometimes you kind of got to figure out like what's happening, but like not knowing where the ball is, not updating that on the scoreboard, right? Like not fixing what down you're on. I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm trying to take notes here.
And now that I'm shooting games and kind of going a little bit more like off the cuff, well, if they don't have that ball on thing, then I'm kind of scrambling like, okay, where are those sticks there? Actually, and when you're looking across the field, you're like, okay, that's the 50 and the 40, and okay, so I think
certainly tougher from the field. Certainly tougher.
Huh?
Certainly tougher from the
field level.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move it along so that.
By the way, Michael, is this main shot with your story? Is that the one you're talking about where he faked those guys out of there?
So do you like see the like defense? I guess it's a linebacker or like
there's one guy
that's like
rolled
on the
up on
ground,
his back with his feet in the air.
he got
about to trip over him.
Yes. So Nico like just complete. I mean, I can't even really describe it. He had this like insane cut juke, and the guy fell. He dove at his legs and missed, and then he was just off to the race. It was a great shot that Rob got.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, we'll get to my game now.
All right,
I'll run the anchor leg. Both of the games involving the top four teams in 12-6A, that at least the ones that we think are going to be the top four teams, came down to a 3-point game. And Shoemaker wins by 3 at Temple. Harker Heights spoils.
I got both of those on y'all.
Yes,
I got both of those.
I was going to get to that too. Harker Heights beats Midway 24-21 on Midway's homecoming. Like Michael, like Chad, this was a kind of a defensive game, not like DJ's game. Uh, it was 7-7 at half. It was just a hard fought game. Here's what I'll say. I think there's probably not a lot of separation, I would think, between those top four teams in 12-6A. Obviously, Midway was rolling along very nicely, but Harker Heights is good. They have a good defense, and they did something I haven't seen all year, and that is take the explosive plays away from Midway. Midway's longest gain of the night, 22 yards. And that has not been the Midway MO all year. JFV didn't carry much. He had 5 carries for like 35 yards. Still a good average, but not, that was first
not 20 yards to carry.
Right. And it's the only time he hasn't had a touchdown all year. Wissington, he got 86 yards, a couple touchdowns. But so here's here's the yin and yang of this game in a short summary right here. It's 21-21. Harker Heights has scored with like 4 minutes and change left. And they kick it off to Midway. And Wissington's back. And he gets it. And he takes off and has like a 60-yard return into Harker Heights territory. Midway's, popping. They're excited. And hear a flag from the far sideline, the other side of the field from where the kickoff return was, came in, and it was a holding. And now Midway's starting at its own 11-yard line. And
did it fly in kind of late?
It was late, and it was the far sideline. And I know we're not supposed to talk about off the record stuff, but I did ask Joe after turning my recorder off about that play, and I was like, how does that happen? And he didn't know how it happens, but that ref was over on Harker Heights sideline, probably getting an earful from the Heights coach.
And yeah.
Being
down on the field, you hear how much they commute. Like, they are on those guys on that side.
Yeah, and look, I don't know that there wasn't a hold, so I can't completely just throw the refs under the bus either. But it was not called, I will say, by any of the officials that were closer to the action. That's all I'll say. But here's the thing, it's still Midway's ball, and here's what happened. I mean, a few plays after that, Lathan's fighting for yards up the middle, fumbles the ball. Heights recovers in prime territory. Midway's defense holds. They get them to a 4th and 5, and then Heights runs out its kicker to do the kick, and the Heights coach was pissed at this point because they get a delay of game, bump it back 5 more yards. Now this kid's got to make a 44-yarder, and homie stepped up and drilled it. It would have been good for 50. So now Midway has a minute left to try to score, try to get in field goal range or something. I'm not sure why they ran a quarterback draw with 56 seconds left at their own 25-yard line. That was their first play. McNair goes for 5 yards, and that ran a lot of time off the clock when you need to move the ball quickly.
Maybe they thought they were going to just catch them.
Maybe. And that play had been somewhat effective for them. But again, they were not going to drive, for the first time all night in that short amount of time. So
I think we may be moving into a shocking new era of football, though, where like just ultra long field goals become the norm.
Well, that was pretty impressive kick.
At the high school, and I feel like college kickers are still not the most reliable. I would disagree, Chad.
But no, but like I'm just watching like the NFL kickers routinely make 60-yarders now.
Yes.
And it's like, is there a special ball, or like is it like golf where they're going to have to outlaw a certain kind of ball because they can hit it too far, you know? And watch it'll carry down, and next thing you know, we're gonna have high school kids.
I tend to agree with Michael. High school kids are still high school kids. So yeah, it's a tough loss for Midway on homecoming. And I think we talked about it before, but Midway has Heights, Shoemaker, Temple right off the bat in district. So yeah, no rest for the weary. You know, they go to Killeen next week to play Shoemaker. So, and here's the other thing. Midway is banged up too. They were without Chauncey King tonight. Max Mayton late in the game limped off the field. I think I saw him on crutches after the game. So not a great situation there, but everybody's kind of banged up at this time of year. So we'll see what Midway has, if they can bounce back, but couple other games I wanted to mention real quick, and then we'll get out of here so y'all can get on the road, you that still have to. La Vega got it handed to him pretty well by Stephenville.
Yeah.
China Spring takes it on the chin on the road against Brownwood. Not a great night for that district. Connolly loses to Athens on the road. Robinson, though, still rolling, beat Hillsboro. And Gatesville also won over Burnett.
I tell you, Robinson and Gatesville, they're kind of like.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That district opener, Gatesville at La Vega, I might want to snag on that one. I really want that game.
That'd be fun. That'll be a fun game. Any others?
I got a score to mention. Two scores to mention. What is it that Kevin Malone in the office says, that if anybody ever gives you 10,000 to 1 odds on anything, you take it? That if John Cougar Mellencamp ever wins an Oscar, he's going to be a very rich man, right?
Right.
Well, if you were ever betting on Moody and Meridian to win on the same night, man, you hit it tonight.
What a parlay.
Uh-huh.
What a parlay.
In all seriousness, you know, Moody with a little bit of a flex win, 63-6. I don't know much about Centex Outlaws, but that's Moody's third win of the year, I believe.
You're on that Moody bandwagon.
Well, my buddy Weston, me and Weston go back to elementary school, man.
Wow.
So, and then, yeah, of course, you know, Meridian getting a 10-6 win over Hubbard.
That was big. That was big.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention Bryce Coolidge, 1 point win over Oglesby. Wow. I did not have that on my 59-58.
Coolidge has got some playmakers. They got some playmakers.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, Oglesby's looked like a
right. No, that's fair. That's fair.
You know, freight train.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coolidge has had some lumps throughout the year.
I don't know if this makes a difference. I mean, but Coolidge is D1, D2, but you know, still impressive. Very impressive.
Okay, one more thing I wanted to say about, all right, when I'm looking at the spreadsheet, which shout out to Win Emmons, he does a great job with our spreadsheet where we do our picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a function of the spreadsheet, but like we all had Leander Rouse beating Lake Belton, and Lake Belton won that game. So then off to the side, there's a column and it says group failure.
Yes. But we get a lot more group successes.
I know it does say group success in places, but it's like group failure.
This week,
group success, and then down here we all had Hubbard winning that game. So like I said,
group failure.
We didn't have the 10,000 to 1 bet on that one. So.
Well, and I was gonna give Michael his flowers. He did.
I think I had a couple on y'all.
He did win the week. Well,
he got 5 on both of us.
Well,
holy smokes!
Yeah, and he got both Heights and Shoemaker, and Chad and I went the other way on those. Obviously, they were 3-point games, but nevertheless. And what were the other ones? I mean, so
I think I picked Brownwood over China. I think both of y'all picked China
yes,
Spring.
and
There
you
was
got
there was a couple others.
Cameron
Oh,
Yo over Mejia,
yep,
which
Yo over Mejia.
I was so on the fence on that one, and I told myself, if the Black Cats don't get it done for me this week, I'm writing them off. So I'm sorry, Mejia, but you're not getting picked by me again.
So, Michael, you're going to want to start making your picks later in the week. Because what I'll do is I'll just go into this spreadsheet and I'll just follow you around because I've only got a 2-game lead on you at this point overall. So,
wow.
you know.
Well, I think last week I had a pretty decent week too. So I'm starting to build some mid-season momentum.
I'm gonna come back like
it's all those phone calls. It's all those out of area coach calls.
Hey, I'm just saying,
He's getting that extra info. All right, let's get out of here. Good job tonight. And next week is a very, very light week on the schedule. DJ, go ahead and take Friday night off next week. Because I'm telling you, there's just nothing. But all right, see y'all later.